Hey guys, this is gonna be a guide as to how to play the character Vila within Euphoria. Things are not too complicated, as this Euphoria pretty much only does enhance everything that Vila already did by a pretty significant amount. There's one thing, that you have to play Vila in the correct team, of course, as it is with every single character in this game now. But for Vila it is more important than for others, because you have to play her together with plant, spirit and or intelligence characters. The best team here would be Marcus, Hisabeth, Mercuria and then Vila. But you have to take one more thing into account if you don't already play her in the best team that is available for her, and that is that you also have to play her together with characters that deal mental damage, because for each ally that is in Vila's team that deals mental damage, she starts the game off with +1 Moxie. She can gain a total of +2 Moxie that way. That is why two characters in Vila's team have to deal mental damage. Why this is so incredibly important is very obvious once you already start the game. Because right out of the gate you can see here now Vila has already 4 Moxie accumulated. Just because I play her together with characters like 37 and Druvis, for example, and both of those deal mental damage. That's why I have 4 Moxie accumulated. Without these characters that deal mental damage, I would have now 2-3 Moxie, right? But I want to have 4 immediately, because you always want to start the match, the battle off by using her buff incantation onto her main DPS. Now, this buff increases your main DPS's critical hit rate and critical damage by 20% each. But if this character now deals mental damage, these numbers increase by critical hit rate increases by 10% and critical damage increases by 20%, just because the character that I apply this buff to deals mental damage. And what that leads to is the thing that you can see. I have now already accumulated 5 Moxie just by using one buff incantation with Vila. And that is something that you have to do. Like on the very first turn, you have to unlock Vila's ultimate so that it is immediately ready on turn 2. If you don't play her together with mental damage characters, then you will either not accomplish that at all or make things much less convenient and much less effective. So keep in mind that you always want to do that. Now you will see that on turn 2 we will have unlocked Vila's ultimate already, and that grants her the Rosalka status. And you want to keep this Rosalka status active at all times, because what this Rosalka status does is it enhances Vila's incantation. It allows us, for example, to apply more songs than just one at a time, which is incredibly important, and it enhances her incantations like by default. So yeah, point in cases, you always want to keep that ultimate ready at all times. More to that in a second. Now her healing incantation is a little bit on the special side, because you can see the target that you actively use this on, right? You will heal that target based on how high your attack stat is. You take 100% of your attack stat and heal the ally that you actively use this on, plus you also apply a stack of sturdiness, which reduces the damage taken by 25% for one attack. Now what makes this special is that you also additionally recover 60% of your attack stat to an ally with the lowest HP percentage currently available in your team, and you do this twice. What that equals to is very easy to see. You gain more heal out of it if you use it the way that I will show you right now. So I don't use this actively on the character with the lowest amount of HP percentage, which in my case right here would be Ananli. Instead, I heal 37 though, because if I do it that way, now Ananli gets healed twice and receives more healing than if I would do it the other way around.
I will remember.
That is very, very important. Never use this heal onto the character with the lowest amount of HP, but on the character with the second lowest amount of HP. That is how you maximize your efficiency and mid-max your abilities a little bit. Now, thanks to us having our ultimate and applying the Rosa status, we will create a precast incantation every single turn. Let's play these attacks out and then take a look at that precast incantation, because it is a key part and super important. Main and core reason why you would keep this Rosa status online at all times. There we have it. Now, what it does is it grants a Moxie and a Eureka, plus it applies this buff to the target as well. And you always, of course, want to use this on your main DPS, which should be Marcus. It grants him, again, a Moxie, a Eureka, plus crit rate, plus crit damage. Now is where things become interesting, because this Rosa status that we have, you can see here, it lasts 2 rounds, so it lasts 3 rounds in total. And now you want to use as many incantations with Vila as you need to accumulate enough Moxie for her to unlock her ultimate one more time before this Rosa status runs out. Okay, now since we have used our precast incantation, which applies the buff onto our main DPS, we can now use our regular buff onto the second character that we play in our team that deals mental damage. Because remember, applying the buff to a character that deals mental damage increases his effect drastically. And now, thanks to Vila's Euphoria update, we can now have multiple songs active at the same time. That wasn't the case before Euphoria update. And also, what makes this Euphoria update even better is now you can gain Moxie and you can unlock your ultimate already again. That also wasn't possible. Your Moxie gain was locked before the Euphoria update. And you have to keep that in mind, right? Now, another reminder. You want to use the incantations, as we just figured out. So, we heal the character with the second lowest amount of HP. That means we don't heal 37 right now. We heal someone else, so that 37 receives more heal.
I will remember your sacrifice.
Yeah, and then you just keep playing the rotation of your team out as you normally would, right? Song of Passion, boom. Now Song of Passion onto another character. We apply Moxie, we apply Eureka, and we give our team a huge amount of critical hit rate and critical damage, plus we heal 2 characters every single time. Another very good thing to notice is that our buff incantation lasts for 2 rounds. That means we have to recast it only 2 turns. Every single, every time we cast this buff once, then we have 1 turn where we don't have to recast it. And that turn we have the option, at least, to not use any incantation with Vila at all, because every time, every turn that Vila doesn't actively use an incantation, she heals her entire team passively for 0 AP. And the very good thing about this is that this precast incantation doesn't count towards us actively casting an incantation, because this is not an incantation, it is a precast incantation. That is very important. See, now we don't use anything else, because that would heal our entire team. Let me show you this once, right? So you see it once. But yeah, normally you should cast an incantation right now, so that next turn you already have your ultimate ready. But I just want to showcase the AoE healing that she does if you don't use an incantation with her for 1 round.
The final demonstration.
So let's do that real quick. And then we already figured out how to play Vila. Team building with her, as I explained, super key, right? Very important. Otherwise she loses a lot of her viability. You always start the game off with your buff incantation. You recast your buff incantation at least every 2 turns. You always want to keep this Rosalka status with your ultimate active at all times. So once you use your ultimate, see that you gain enough Moxie to recast your ultimate once this Rosalka status runs out. Then use your precast incantation every time onto your main DPS and your buff incantation onto the second character that deals mental damage. And that is Vila. See, now the Rosalka status ran out. Boom, we have our ultimate ready and we immediately recast it again. You saw that since we didn't use an incantation the turn before, she healed your entire team. And that's about it, guys. See, now Rosalka status again. You can see the Song of Passion is still active on our main DPS. So what we're gonna do, we use our buff incantation on the second character in our team that he deals mental damage, and that's Vila. Let's talk about Vila's Psycube real quick as well, because before the Euphoria update, her signature Psycube, this one right here, Dawn is Coming, was the uncontested winner and her best in slot for sure. Now, because of her Euphoria, scaling the healing up that she does based on how high her max HP is, this one here, Melodies Old and New, comes into play as well because it gives you flat HP. It also increases your healing done and you increase the damage dealt by your allies a little bit. Now, which one of those is truly better? That is very hard to tell because they are super close. Telling like which one is better would be a little bit nitpicky. So you use one of those Psycubes, whatever Psycube you like better out of these two, you will be 100% fine either way. That's all about her. And that's it for the video, guys. I hope that was fun and informative. If you like Reverse1999 content in general, please consider leaving a follow on my channel. But until next time, don't forget to join the Discord server. Take care of yourselves, have a great day, and we love this game.